Did you like those games yesterday? I hope you did. I hope you did very much.
I did.
So, am I wrong for being kind of excited for the Lions? Are we supposed to be mortal enemies because growing up a Cowboy fan and they played on Thanksgiving a lot and stuff?
They've never had a rivalry.
They haven't won the title since the 50s. Let those fans enjoy something.
I know. I do kind of wish that they had gotten there and done it with our friend Matt Stafford back when he was there. That would have been nice.
Well,
because I like
he got
him.
his title in that.
He
LA.
did. But I always hate it when a guy stays at a place for a long time and then he leaves and then they get somewhere. Yeah. I mean, it's been a few years, but yeah. So I was excited for the Detroit Lions. Did you guys like the broadcast crews? Going to talk about them a little bit later on.
Which broadcast crews?
The first one, yes. Tirico's fantastic.
Tirico and Collinsworth.
Mm-hmm. And I like Collinsworth too.
And then Romo, who's almost as hoarse as Collinsworth now.
Oh, Jim! What has happened to his voice?
I don't know. Because if he had vocal cord damage from yelling so much as a player, then it would have been worse, I think, closer to when he was a player. That's my Tony Romo. In other sports news, I know you guys are big into Chinese chess, and we followed the story of the competitor who won that tournament over there in China and then defecated in a bathtub and then had his title stripped from him for violating human decency. He's now suing that federation. Says that he wants them to restore his title and pay him $14,000. And he does acknowledge that he did drink a little bit, but he said he had a moderate amount of beer. He did not get blind, wasted drunk, and that he had had some stomach issues and just merely couldn't make it to the toilet on time. This was at the hotel where the tournament happened. Now, do you buy that you can't make it the additional 2 feet?
No.
To the toilet?
No.
Uh-oh. George has questions.
It's not that it's happened to me, but, at some point, you got to...
You know of someone who has done this in a bathtub?
No, not a bathtub, but I'm just, maybe has messed their pants or something before they quite, made it to their destination.
Kelly Clarkson had the trash can backstage.
You like talking about that one?
Well, she likes talking about it. She led her talk show.
One time. You've talked about it 147
with
times.
That. She shared the story of back when she was performing. Her stomach is jumpy before she goes on stage.
Jumpy.
And she felt her innards liquefy. And she had to go to the bathroom, but they didn't have time before she went out on stage. And so there was a big, one of those big hefty garbage cans right there backstage. And she dropped trowel and sat on the edge of that. And I think it collapsed on her, too. It was one of those rubber trash cans.
I think you added that.
I think she wrote it down to the ground.
Oh, you added that.
And then they're laying in an oil slick.
Bingo.
Bingo. But yeah, that's Kelly Clarkson, who I believe has lost some weight recently. Has she been on the Ozempic?
I don't know what she's on.
Celebrity deal?
She has.
There's going to be a downside to this at some point, right? The Ozempic that everyone's taking.
I think there already is, isn't there?
Is there? What's the downside?
That kind of thing, stomach problems, and
you get Clarksoned.
I don't think they call it that.
You get Musgraved.
They definitely don't call it that.
Now that's another singer.
One time said something about it.
Why are they doing it twice?
I don't know. I agree. It's not a good thing to talk about.
I think she did it twice.
On social media
Casey Musgraves talked about
interview.
it twice.
She talked about it twice on her Twitter, years apart, 2 different occasions.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why isn't it?
Especially when there's people like you that won't let it go.
Or has there been some studies and publicists have discovered that makes a person really relatable and their fans love it when they talk bathroom accidents?
Corby talked about doo-dooing at the Masters.
Yeah, and he really He did not represent the station very well.
No.
At the Masters. What was his problem? What was the story? He had too many pimento cheese sandwiches.
It wasn't a problem. He just had to go before they went out on the course, and
it wasn't an
one
emergency.
of his co-workers, I think, outed him, and then of course Corby embraced it.
God, Corby's such an animal. So anyway, this is a top competitor suing because he said that it's natural. This Chinese chess player says it's totally natural what happened, and Casey Musgraves would have done the same thing. All right. First of all, I want to say that I'm getting into aviation.
Okay. Like you want to get your pilot's
license? I'm going to get
license?
my private pilot's license. That way that the three musers can travel around together when we need to get to places.
You have to go to class. You have to attend. You have to build up hours.
There's a good P1 who says that he can get me a license.
No, he can't.
If I just pay him $100, he can get me a license.
He can't.
I foresee a John Denver or D.B. Cooper ending for you.
What? Those are two very different scenarios.
I know, but they both involve a plane.
Well, I got to studying plane accidents. There's a lot of good aviation channels on YouTube, and they go over aviation accidents and tell you what happened and what the pilot did wrong, and it's a fascinating world, the world of aviation.
So we know what Gordo did all weekend. He didn't watch football. I watched
a little football.
He watched ring video of plane crashes.
No, sir. That's not what I watched. Ring video of plane crashes. I did watch some security footage of plane crashes as they try to the NTSB trying to put together
security footage.
What happened. We had a plane crash that happened off the coast of California back on January 14th, and this small plane that crashed, there were 4 people on board, no survivors, but turns out that plane was constructed piecemeal over nearly a decade in a Michigan basement, garage, and backyard. Says that it's one of tens of thousands of home-built aircraft that are part of a growing hobby of people building their own planes.
Yeah. Don't they all have to pass some sort of FAA inspection?
Yes, they do. But they sell plans.
And you can build them.
And for $500, you can buy the plans, and then you build them, and it has a list of accredited parts suppliers, and you take this thing and you build it. It'll take you a while to build it, but you glue it together, and then you can fly it. And 4 people were on this one, and the plane, I was reading about it, it's a pretty respected plane. Like the Hobbyist, this is one of the most popular. It's a 4-seater Mark IV. That's what it's called. 16 feet long, 28-foot wingspan, and it can go up to 200 miles an hour. They say it drives like a sports car up there. It's really fun.
Man.
So that's what I'm thinking about doing.
Okay.
Would you get in a plane?
No.
I haven't even finished asking.
No.
Not
I
even
haven't
close.
fleshed out the question for you, but
there's
no plane
I'm not
that you
a
would
fan
get
of
in.
small planes anyway, and I certainly wouldn't get in one that you were in charge of. There's no way.
I would try not to be in the same county, maybe even the same state, if I knew that you were flying a plane.
More than 33,000 amateur-built aircraft are licensed right now by the FAA. Wow. 33,000.
Seems like a lot.
This one didn't make it. Speaking of aircraft, here's an am I the ass situation. Am I the a-hole? So this guy gets on the plane, and he got upgraded, a free upgrade to the emergency exit. So he's got more leg room. Got some space. He notices the guy next to him smiling at him as he sits down. Actually, the person who posted this story online did not give their gender, so it could be a guy or woman, but we'll just say it's a guy, right? He notices that the guy next to him is smiling at him. So after he settles, the guy next to him asks, "Hey, would you mind? My pregnant wife is sitting a few rows back. Would you mind switching seats with her?"
Yeah, I always hate that one.
So what do? You are in an exit row. It was a free upgrade for you.
Yeah.
You did not pay for the exit row. But you get the exit row. I'll give you another detail. This is a 14-hour flight.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Wow. Number one, I'll tell you who the ass is here. It's the guy who asked this guy to leave and to switch with his wife. That guy's the ass.
What's wrong with asking? It's simply asking. You're not demanding.
It's a simple question.
You're putting him in a very tough situation. But beyond that, yes, I would switch.
You would.
It's a pregnant woman.
Yeah, that would probably get you to switch.
I would switch.
Okay.
I'd be ticked for the next 13 hours and 59 minutes.
What about if the switch happens? She's walking up there, and the belly's not so big.
Okay, at that point, that would make it really tough.
This is totally Larry David.
That's a Larry David
What
moment.
are you talking about? She's not. She is 8 weeks pregnant, sir.
Okay, so when he asks you to switch, isn't that your first question? How many weeks is she?
Yeah.
That is a private
think
matter,
you're
and you should
entitled.
never ask a woman how far along she is.
Well,
that is
I
extremely
asked
rude,
all those
sir.
who are trying to take my seat. How far along?
We're not trying to take your seat. We merely asked, sir.
Right.
I would say
I'm
she
asking
needs
you.
to be in the third trimester.
Yeah.
You require her to be in the third trimester. Okay, let's say that she's in the, just going into the second trimester. Like, she's showing just a little bit. Does that affect your decision?
Showing just a little bit. That makes it really tough. It also makes it tough because a lot of those flights you have to pay for that exit row. And if that's a 14-hour flight, that might have been $100 or
that's the thing,
$150.
is the guy that's asking him, I mean, it's reasonable to assume this guy paid for his exit row seat. So
Right.
you're asking a guy who presumably paid for his exit row seat to switch with your wife. Now, the guy who's presenting the situation, he says, look, why should I feel like this guy, if he's so concerned about the comfort of his wife, why doesn't he switch seats with her? She can sit up here.
Right.
Why am I the one? Because we want to sit together, sir. I'm here to support my wife. Well, then why didn't you support her when you booked the seat?
Right.
Well, if you want to sit together, why doesn't she ask the person next to her in coach?
Yeah.
Hey, great opportunity for you.
Because
Exit row seat.
There's not as much room back there.
Like
my
I
wife
said,
really wants to sit in the exit row, sir.
Like I said in the beginning, the guy asking is the ass here.
So, George, would you switch? They would guilt you into it.
What is that supposed to mean?
I just think that they would. I think that they would guilt you into it. You'd be like, oh, it's a pregnant woman, and that's as far as you would think it. You would just think pregnant woman, and that's what you're supposed to do is protect her.
Yeah, I probably would, but I think Junior brings up a good point. I think you're entitled to ask the question, how far along?
That would be so awkward, though. Well, how far along is she? Well, I don't see how that's any of your business, sir.
Well, if we're moving her over her, it's kind of my business.
Yeah, if she's not really showing so much, then, I mean...
She's probably good.
What does it matter?
Plus, I'm 6'4". I could use the extra leg room.
Yeah, that's the other thing. She walks up. Her belly's smaller than ours.
She's like 5'3".
Yeah, she's 5'3". It's like she's got plenty of room back there. I could use this room more than she can. She is pregnant, sir. Well, that's not my fault. Sounds like that's your fault, sir.
I didn't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
All right, Gordo, thank you. That's the ODEC.
Thank you, Craig. We got some participation or rain. Isn't that what you call it? Isn't that the other name for it?
Precipitation.
Participation. And it's wet on the roadways, but it's not quite freezing, is it? I'm not sure what the temp is right now.
35 right now at DFW.
So as I was driving into work, roads wet, experienced no slick spots, though. No iciness. And the temperature is going to rise throughout the day. It's going to get into the 40s today. But we're going to have quite a bit of rain this week. There's some areas of DFW that are going to get upwards of 2 inches of rain. Higher amounts expected east and south of the Metroplex.
We're still down in rainfall? Well, I guess we're on a new year now, but do we start the year in a deficit from last year?
Yeah, I believe so.
You're the one that keeps up with lake levels.
Yeah, I think they're decent. Our lake levels are.
On Tuesday, we got 90% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Low of 45, high of 60 tomorrow.
All right.
Pretty good little temperature. 60. Pretty good little temperature. Wednesday, 60% chance of showers. And then Thursday, I guess it's just going to be partly cloudy. But it's going to get up to 62 on Thursday. Be pretty nice.
And then more rain on Friday.
Or off. I guess we need rain, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
Okay. So, we all watched the Taylor Swift game yesterday, right?
Yes.
A divisional playoff game is really the way to say that.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
I was just watching for the fashion. I wanted to see what Tay-Tay was going to wear. And she wore an $1,800 white and red bomber jacket. You know, this is
That's
thing.
What that was called?
Yeah, that we always have to research and find out how much somebody's outfit cost. They do this with first ladies a lot. You don't see it with guys a whole bunch.
No, we don't care.
I mean, sometimes you do. But they don't say, you know, hey, that political candidate was wearing a $2,000 suit.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that those are the people that we should be talking about their clothes cost the most because they're supposed to represent common man, or either they're supposed to represent wild success, whichever way you want to run it. But
yeah, what would happen for a presidential debate if one of the candidates came out in a T-shirt and action pants?
Well, if that
these days, would that be good?
What's the dude that the Democrats hate now? Fetterman. Yeah, if Fetterman ever ran for president, he would come out in sweats and a T-shirt. Anyway, Taylor Swift, $1,800 jacket. Does anybody
How can she afford that?
Yeah, when you make $3 billion a year, do we have a problem with her wearing an $1,800 jacket?
I don't care what she wears. And the fact that she was wildly celebrating, at least now it is a playoff game. They are 2 games away from the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It makes sense now.
So you are officially apologizing to her for celebrating
I'm just saying her
good things.
Her celebration,
it matches the occasion.
It matches the game, yeah.
Okay, but
although Brittany Mahomes looks like a lot to sit next to during a game.
So which one do you think's wearing out the other one?
Believe it or not,
Brittany's wearing out Taylor.
Yeah.
Really?
For sure.
I can't believe that they're still besties.
Brittany
Doesn't it seem like those kind of high-energy friendships, sudden friendships, they burn quickly?
My take is Brittany used to be the queen bee in those booths and the locker room area and all of that. And now she's been...
relegated?
Yeah, So she is probably over-talking and over-performing to try to keep up with Taylor, who doesn't need to do that because she's Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's causing tension.
That sounds so made up to me.
Something else that I'm sensing is that the Kelsey brothers are really obsessed with their brand right now.
You think?
I think last night was all about Jason saying, I'm going to take off. I know they're going to be taking shots of this booth because Taylor's up here. I'm going to take off my shirt and chug beer. Every time he knew they were going to Taylor, like after a big play by Travis, he would be behind Taylor chugging a beer. And then the one time he came out into the crowd. I think they're all about promoting their podcast and their brand. And Travis looking up at Taylor and making the heart sign with his fingers.
That's great.
But, I mean, it didn't work for Philly. It's working for KC so far. It hasn't been a distraction, but there's something weird about it. There's something prearranged about their relationship.
When shirtless Jason...
You think it's a Scientology deal?
No.
No, but I do think they are discovering how much financially they mean to each other if they are together.
They're leveraging it to the hilt.
Yeah, that dawned on them at the Super Bowl last year. That's where they got all the suit commercials and all that stuff. But when Jason launched himself, did you see the footage of him online jumping out of the suite shirtless.
Yep.
It's number one. I can't believe it didn't bust his butt because it looked like it was kind of icy up there. But had he, or maybe if one of the fans had taken exception to it, if he was just some dude, you get thrown out for jumping out of a suite, don't you? Shirtless?
Probably.
But the NFL's not going to do that. I mean, they can pretty much do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's good for the NFL. All this mess, all this circus has been good for the NFL.
Great.
Did Taylor get a nice reception, warm reception, when she arrived at the stadium?
I don't know.
She did not. She was booed by the Bills fans.
Yeah, Buffalo fans.
Well, she got the last laugh. Her team won.
She was walking with Jason and their dad, Ed Kelsey. He's got to be tired of all that mess, isn't he?
He didn't seem to get as much attention as Mama Kelsey.
But they were showered with booze as they walked in. At the stadium there, they had several Taylor Swift-themed concession items at the Bills Stadium. They offered, Bad Blood waffle fries. Is that a song of her?
Bad Blood, yeah.
Okay. I need to get hip with Taylor because she's... I've heard some of her stuff and thought, that's a really well written line. That's really good, and she certainly knows how to write a hook. So
you've heard that song,
yeah.
Keep going.
And Karma Quesadillas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not sure what this other item is. Some sort of fries that are topped with buffalo chicken and blue cheese on one side, and the other side has Kansas City Cattleman's barbecue pork on it. So you can support both teams, I guess.
Yeah.
George, we need to do a segment on the Bills curse.
Yeah.
You've done them on the Vikings curse.
Man, these poor people.
Those poor Bills fans.
They won an AFL title, right? With Jack Kemp?
Yeah. But 4 straight Super Bowls, didn't win one. Their greatest player ever was on trial in front of America for a year.
Who's that?
O.J. Simpson,
Okay.
Gordon. And now this latest incarnation, a really good team, but they just can't get over the Kansas City hump.
That poor guy who was just crying at the end of the game. I felt so bad. And they kept showing him.
Bass, the kicker.
No.
Oh, the fan.
The guy in the stand who was just bawling. He's like a 35-year-old guy.
You ever feel bad for the fan in the stand that gets way too much attention on national TV?
Yeah,
you
now it's a
don't know how
meme
that wild Bronco is going to buck him.
Yeah, now every bad thing that happens to Buffalo the next 10 years, that'll be a meme now, that guy crying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Who was the lady who was cheering wildly?
Chewbacca Mom?
No, what? Not every lady is Chewbacca Mom.
HOV mommy?
No.
Y'all love her.
So sometime this year, it was that crazy fan, and she was all really intense.
Was it a Cowboy
She's
game?
wearing glasses like Ali Wong, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That woman?
I know who you're talking about.
But yet
I'll find her.
her meme didn't last for forever.
No.
Chargers fan.
That's
Chargers
right.
fan. There
that's
you go.
Right. Yeah.
She's just so overly intense.
Plus, those people live in Buffalo.
Those.
Yeah,
What do you mean, those people?
They have the
rough
longest
winter, boy.
winters ever.
Is Buffalo a beaten down place?
Yeah.
I was there in the summertime. It seemed nice.
It's beautiful, right?
I couldn't imagine January and February there.
The great Nick Bakay is from Buffalo.
Yeah.
All right, the L.A.
I found her.
Uh-oh. You found her?
It was against the Cowboys, too, wasn't it? When she did that?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Oh, her. I'll get a better picture. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there she is. When I say the name Scott Peterson, what do you think of?
Lacey's husband that killed her.
Oh.
What?
It's just soften it a little bit. We're trying to have fun this morning.
Then why are you bringing up this story?
Oh, my goodness. I just saw where the Twitter account for Norm's Bladder tweeted out. Shows a picture of Taylor and Brittany Mahomes, and then standing back behind him is OJ in his Buffalo Bills knit cap. Hey, try to world. Anyway, back to Scott Peterson. Yes, you may remember this song.
No, don't play that.
That Scott
Seriously,
Peterson
don't play
released.
that.
Why?
Because it's too depressing. Stop.
This song is supposed to be uplifting.
Stop.
No, I think it's fine.
No, stop.
Gosh. That voice.
Smile and make a smile.
The Los Angeles Innocence Project has taken on the Scott Peterson case.
Huh.
Here we are, 20 some odd years after his conviction.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, he was convicted of murdering his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson. And now they are working with Scott Peterson. So, up until recently, a lot of his attorneys were focused on overturning his death sentence, which they succeeded in doing that a few years ago. They got his death sentence taken away, so where he's just life in prison. And now they are seeking exoneration and to free Scott Peterson. I guess the Innocence Project believes that he did not do it.
So, Gordo, you're a bit of a ghoul, and you keep up with all of these murder trials.
Back up.
Do you think
You mean
he's
I'm
innocent?
a newsman? That's
No, not really. I wouldn't call you
much
that.
more accurate.
Sorry,
Radio
that's what I
superstar
meant.
coming through.
I meant newsman. Do you think there's something to this?
You know, I don't know is the short answer to this. I, like everybody else, thought he was guilty just because that's what the press had said back when it happened. But then there was a documentary several years ago that I think cast doubt on his guilt. And that is, it's really horrible if someone like that is indeed innocent,
Oh, my
what the
God.
world puts them through.
And that was his wife and child?
Wife and child, yeah.
Ah,
That he was having an affair on.
yeah.
I forget what her name was. I could picture her, but I can't remember her name. Lacey Underalls, his mistress. Scott Peterson's mistress. Amber Peterson. No, it wouldn't have been the same last name.
Hoodles.
Amber
Hey,
Hoodles.
You're right. See, George, I told you he knows all this stuff. Amber Fry.
Knew her first name. Yeah, he's. It's like the worst story ever, and he just keeps bringing it up.
Well, I'm bringing it
But
up
I guess
because
now
there's new
reason to. Yeah.
There's reason to bring it up, George.
You just wanted to hear that stupid song again.
No. What song are you talking about? Are you talking
God,
about this
do
one right
not
here?
play it,
I don't
Creighton.
know.
Don't
I
play
think
it.
maybe you mean this one.
Remembering Lacey.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Do you like the backup
No.
vocals, how high
No.
they are in the mix?
No, I hate the whole song.
It's not that bad.
It's terrible.
It's a beautiful honor. Okay, birthdays today. Turning 75. A man known as The Voice.
Steve Perry?
Steve Perry, former frontman of Journey, turned
I don't know if
75.
I'd call it The Voice
Five.
anymore.
Well, dude, he got old, all right? You can't sing
He also
like that for
thrashed
forever.
his vocal cords.
Linda Blair, the actress from The Exorcist, is 65. Steven Adler, the drummer for Guns N' Roses, 59. The great Diane Lane from Lonesome Dove, Lori Darlin, 59 years of age. Guy Fieri, George's hero, he's 56. Willa Ford is 43. Good P1, Willa Ford. I remember she used to watch my old TV show. Mike Minato told me that once. I thought that was so weird that they would sit there and watch my TV show on Saturday nights.
Kind of a humble brag there.
That is kind of a humble brag. George Seifert, also a fan of the old TV show. He's 84.
I remember he was really mad about something one time.
That tricks were for kids.
That's right.
Stop remembering that.
Irate George Seifert.
We'll talk to an irate George Seifert next. Brian Jones, our Brian Jones, is
Really?
56.
All right.
Okay.
Jason Peters, 42. George Ray Rice turns 37 today.
Whatever happened to
Don't
him?
address that to me.
Greg Oden, 36. Dylan
Whatever happened
Brooks,
to him?
he's with Ray Rice. They share a 2-1 in Santa Monica right now. Dylan Brooks is 28. And Caitlin Clark is 22.
Iowa's own.
Isn't that Ducey's
Yep.
crush?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's creepy.
She almost got knocked out after they got beat yesterday by a fan.
They punched her?
Well, ran into her when they stormed the court.
Dang. So does she have pro aspirations? Will she go pro?
Yes.
Imagine.
Will she make it in the NBA?
WNBA.
WNBA.
Why not the NBA?
I don't think she'd
Because
make it
there's
there,
no
Gordon.
chance a
Will we
player
ever
like that
see
could ever-
a woman
No.
make
No.
it in?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
No.
I guess that's
No.
the end of the question. So.
All right, that's Muse, 734 on the ticket.
If this is a tradition unlike any other, we have our 30th birthday party coming up this Friday. And next month, we have Ticketstock. So it's about that time. We have to hear the yearly Ticketstock promo song that I know everyone's excited about. It's going to be an earworm here for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So let's get it started.
Song about Ticketstock we had to write. Soon your ears will be ringing. We're here to tell you that it's gonna be alright. Ticketstock will be out of sight. Today's peace, love and sports, Senate and Plano. Some call it fun, some call it nice. Welcome to Ticketstock.
Bad news is one more verse.
Oh, no.
If he wants to, you hear us singing. It's been 30 years that we've been in your homes. We dominate the sports talk ratings. 'Cause with the ones we are never on our own. You keep us number one. It's a College County home. Some call it fun, some call it nice. We want to entertain you, time wasters unlocked. Welcome to Ticketstock.
Thanks to Cabin Cuts Productions for helping us out with that. The great Shay Taylor. And I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. You're going to have to hear that a lot for the next month or so.
Not in its entirety.
No,
Probably.
but you'll hear bits and
Okay.
pieces of it over the next month.
Okay, now help me out. What song is that?
That
It's
is
Green Day.
Welcome to Paradise by
Okay.
Green Day,
Gotcha.
which was released on the Dookie album, which is a hilarious name for an album in 1994, the year the ticket started.
I was thinking Green Day. It sounded Green Day-ish, but I couldn't quite place it.
Yeah. And let's all get prepared, shall we, for Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm Ticketstock, February 23rd and 24th at the Plano Events Center, our Collin County home. Mike Madano, many others will be there. It's going to be a great time.
But joining us now, let's open the door and welcome into the studio the biggest San Francisco 49ers fan we know, the crazy Prospector. Good morning.
It's
fired up.
playoff football and Crazy Prospect excited for the 49er. Whoa!
Congratulations.
One time,
Yeah.
I was out in the big thicket rummaging around for some peat moss to insulate my sports cave for the winter. And I tripped over the helmet of Roger Craig.
Oh, wow.
What was that doing?
And I fell 270 feet into a ravine. And I fell right next to another crazy prospector who was falling the other way toward all the Roger Craig headgear. And once I landed there in that ravine, I look around at who might be having a bake sale of George Kittle-themed confections that could fuel me until I could crawl back to my cave with my 2 broken leg. And I didn't see anyone behind the counter of bake sales, so I took a few cookies. And then I heard a twig snap behind the boulder, and guess who I see?
Who?
The big old bear!
Your nemesis.
Here comes the
My
bear.
nemesis! And he chased me all the way to the Bay Area, and then back to the ravine, and then back to the Bay Area, and then back to the ravine again. And then he took Roger Craig's helmet and he shoved it up my rump till I finished.
Oh, my. What?
Till I finished putting on the final touches of my Jerry Rice mural.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that I was going to deliver to Ricky Waters. But then the big old bear, he ran away from me. Because he knew the power of the playoff 49er.
Oh, yeah, they're a powerful team.
Well, do you think they're going to finally get it done this year? They've been so close. Are they going to win the Super Bowl?
One time, I was out under the full moon panning for the good gold.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get enough money to take a stagecoach to Santa Clara for the Lions game.
He knew it was going to happen.
And all of a sudden, guess who appeared right before my eyes?
Bear?
The ghost of Bill Walsh.
Oh.
So I stopped praying to him, thanking him for calling the catch.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, he unzips his ghost skin, and who do you think it really was?
Your nemesis?
No, it was the real ghost of Bill Walsh.
Oh, okay.
So I prayed to him and thanked him for pranking me and for calling the catch. When all of a sudden, who come up beside him but Merton Hanks?
Merton Hanks.
Yeah, and Merton Hanks begins to steal my gold by extending his long giraffe neck and gumming the gold into his mouth. Then all of a sudden, he unzips his Merton Hanks suit. And guess who it was?
This one's the bear.
The future ghost of Merton Hanks. And he chased me into a bear den where I hide and wait for a local apocalypse so I can slip out under the cover of world destruction. But then I hear a growl in the cave and I turn around and guess who I see?
Now, it's the bear.
Now it's the big old bear. That's right.
Hey, finally.
So the big old bear, he chased me into the loving arms of the future ghost of Merton Hanks, who had been waiting the whole time. And then the bear grabbed both of us and forced us to sit down to a dinner of mac and cheese and some sort of bear delicacy. But Bill Walsh comes up and overturns the tables like Jesus at the temple and makes Merton Hanks give me back my gold.
Wow.
I'm the crazy prospector and I love the 49er.
Well, do you think they got a little lucky?
One time, I was walking along trying to look for bear scat to add to my collection.
Mm-hmm. Gross.
And I get hit on the head by an errant pass from Joe Montana.
Wow.
Whoa.
And we both laugh and make love, but then all of a sudden, a concert break out. And guess who the headliner was?
Creed?
Nope.
The big old bear?
Nope. Widespread panic.
Okay.
So Corby and I laugh and put our arm around each other, and
I
then
bet.
guess who the opener was?
The bear?
That was
The big old bear. And he was on a PRS, but it was an SE model, and that offended Jerry Rice, who insisted all American-made instruments be used at gig.
Yeah, I've heard that about
So
him.
they get into a fight, and I ran all the way to Detroit to taunt them and tell them that they aren't as good as Fred Dean. And they respected my opinion and promised me that they're going to lose against the 49ers.
Oh, they've already said they're going to lose.
Yeah!
Okay.
Woo! I'm the crazy prospector and I love the 49ers.
I knew
Wow.
he'd be fired up. We're one game away from going back to the Super Bowl.
If you would like to join us for Monday morning quarterbacking, it's 888-77-22. That's my best guy sports.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've been working on it a lot. I spent a lot of my weekend working on my fake guy sports.
Okay.
888-787-1310. But before we get to your phone calls, the Doomsday Clock will be updated tomorrow. Uh-oh. I remember as a kid, I was always confused by the Doomsday Clock. I'm like, what is this? There's an actual clock that is it's real and we keep it? And it's like, It's largely a symbolic thing, of course, but the doomsday clock is, I guess, voted on by scientists.
Okay.
And it's set, midnight means the destruction, global destruction. And we are 90 seconds to midnight right now.
Really?
According to the doomsday clock. Now, it's going to update tomorrow, and we'll see if it moves closer to midnight. But you can pretty much predict it's going to move closer to midnight because you got the Israel-Hamas war, you got the Ukraine, or I'm sorry, not the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Ukraine war.
Okay.
You can say the Ukraine war, can't you?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. And of course, climate stuff going on and all that. But yeah, it's a symbolic timepiece showing how close the world is to a human-made global catastrophe. The clock is currently at the closest it's ever been. Did they ever move it backwards?
Boy, what would cause that?
I don't know.
Some gigantic world war that
is over? Like when the
that's
Cold War
over.
ended, did they
Yeah, I
move
bet
the
that-
doomsday
yeah.
clock back?
Yeah, I bet so.
A big war that doesn't destroy the earth, but only leaves a few people who all get along.
Mm-hmm.
They'd move it back.
Yes. But has it ever been like a year from midnight? Or is it always
I don't know.
within...
I don't know when they started it.
Yeah, I don't know either. P1 Mark says, Gordon, I caught your comments during Muse in the News at 7:15 every morning. I caught your comments this morning about Scott Peterson, the Scott Peterson-Lacey Peterson case in which Scott Peterson, the husband of Lacey, was convicted of killing her. She was really pregnant at the time, too, that she was killed. And he was convicted, sentenced to die. Then they got the death penalty overturned. He was in life in prison. Now the LA Innocence Project has taken on his case. So they're going to try to get him exonerated. But Mark says the thing that stuck out to me most about Scott Peterson's guilt was the whole issue of him being caught at Torrey Pines Golf Course in San Diego with a bunch of cash on him, and his hair and goatee dyed a different color.
I forgot about that.
If he was an innocent man, why would he do that?
What was his explanation?
I don't know. But Mark says, I also recalled he was heading to Mexico. Do you guys remember that? I've
Yeah.
not seen the documentary about him regarding his innocence, but I'm going to seek it out. The case troubled me. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have to do a deep dive into the Scott Peterson case.
No, you don't have to.
I've been so BD and Amanda Knox lately. It'd be hard for me to change courses, but I will because I'm a reporter first and foremost.
When you come back in your next life, would you be interested in being a police investigator?
Sure.
Murder cases? It seems like that's right up your alley.
Yeah,
especially
not
grisly murder cases.
No, not that. I'm just an investigator at heart. Speaking of being an investigative reporter at heart, we lost a friend of the program during winter break, Christmas break. Passed away on December 23rd. And I'm just now finding out about it this morning. He was up here in studio. He had a book, and he gave me one of his books that he was publishing at the time. He died at the age of 92.
Yeah, who?
Hugh Ainsworth, the legendary local reporter, worked for, seemed like every paper around here, and you'll see him in a lot of the JFK documentaries he's interviewed. He's the one, Craig, who said to you that when all the reporters got together, I'm pretty sure it was Hugh Ainsworth. I know he told that story too. All the reporters who covered the case got together many years later and took a vote, and they all said that Lee Oswald acted alone after they had investigated it thoroughly. They all wanted to be the one to prove there was a conspiracy, but they just couldn't find it. Anyway, Hugh Ainsworth passing away at the age of 92, and they are holding a celebration of his life on January 27th. That's this Saturday, I believe.
Yep.
At 2 p.m. at the Texas Theater. They're going to be showing War is Hell on the screen. Gosh, I may go to this just to sit in the magic seat.
What did they do with that
It's
seat?
not called the magic
Still
seat.
there.
Is it
It's
labeled?
marked, isn't it?
It's the only. I think all the seats are red and that one's black.
Wow. Creepy.
Yeah.
He thinks.
So I may go and pay respect to Hugh
Yeah.
while
That's
sitting
sad
on that
news.
throne.
He was a nice man.
Mm-hmm.
The throne of power. He was a very nice man. Yeah, Hugh Ainsworth passing away. All right, David says, Gordon, love you. Love you too, David. Thank you. When I was a kid in the mid-'80s, my great-uncle Bill flew into town with my great-aunt Betty in a plane that he made at home. A homemade plane, which we discussed during the O Deck this morning at 6:15. Or was that in... Yeah.
Yeah.
David continues, it was 2 seats, one in front of the other, and they also had space for luggage. It was fascinating to hear him talk about building it and flying it from airport to airport across the country, how he read maps and schedules with airports. It was very cool. He was on his way back to L.A. from the East Coast, and he stopped in Arlington and took us up and flew us around a little bit. So he rode in his great-uncle's homemade plane. He did tricks with us in the plane. It made me so sick, but I was ready to start learning how to fly. You know, as a kid, that really impressed him. Then a few weeks later, my mom got the call that Uncle Bill was flying
Uh-oh.
and showing off for some friends doing those same tricks. He did one of those long flying upside down loop-de-loops, but
Stalled.
misjudged the altitude and
no.
buried the plane and himself nose first into Mother Earth.
Good God.
I lost all interest in flying and have been scared ever since.
There were 3 red flags there. Homemade plane,
Yeah.
tricks, and uncle.
Yeah, uncle. Always a red flag there. If you're a parent, would you let your kid go up and do tricks with Uncle
No.
No.
Billy in a homemade plane?
No way.
I can't believe that David's parents let him do that. About the other airplane controversy, the story of the guy who was he was in an exit row and he got asked by the guy sitting next to him, hey, you mind switching with my wife? She's several rows back so we can sit together. She's pregnant, so you're a big jerk if you don't switch with her. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to switch with you. If you want her to sit up here with more room, why don't you switch with her? Garrett says, I just heard your story about that ass trying to move his baby-having wife to the exit row. The flight attendants, parentheses, I think they prefer little people now. No, I don't know.
No,
I think you're
no.
confused on that. Always ask everyone in the exit row if they're willing and able to perform exit row duties in the event of an emergency.
Good point.
A pregnant woman or man would be required by law to be reseated since the government believes that people who carry children are not dependable or capable of taking care of others. Once again, you've got a few things just a little bit wrong, but yes. Yeah, can a pregnant person be in an exit row?
Probably not. Like, they don't let kids sit in an exit row.
Right. But
So like HOV mommy, to tie it in, this would be a kid
Yeah.
sitting in an exit row.
Well, yes, her argument would be there's 2 people in 1 seat. But aren't you in a bit of an uncomfortable situation if, let's go with the Larry David thing of she comes up there and he's like, well, she's not really showing. She's only 8 weeks pregnant. She shouldn't get credit for being a pregnant person. Then he says, but pregnant people can't serve in the exit row. But she is, sir, she's not really that pregnant. She's only 8 weeks. Well, if she's only 8 weeks, then why didn't she sit back there? I don't understand.
My first online search says pregnant women are not allowed to sit in exit rows.
Why are we being punitive there?
You want me to search
Don't
that?
they have enough on their plate without us discriminating against them? They're not allowed to sit in a place that has extra leg room because they're pregnant? Seems unfair.
It seems to be a written rule for some airlines and an unwritten rule for others.
More questions than answers.
Dawson says, I've flown over 100,000 miles a year for 2 decades. That's a lot of miles every single year. Wow. I used to be nice and switch when people asked, but after endless times of being taken advantage of, no more. I won't even switch from my preferred aisle seat in first class to a window seat in first class so that someone can sit with their spouse or kid.
Wow.
Too many times I've been nice only to see the person taking my seat act like an entitled jerk to the flight attendant.
Huh.
Or in one case, they claim to have a disability, walking with a cane and wanting to be near the front bathroom. When we went to deplane after the landing, they left the cane in the overhead bin. I grabbed it, chased them down in the terminal to give it to them as they were laughing. So they came in all had shake hand on a cane.
God.
And then when they left the plane, they danced out of there.
A bitch-ass MFer.
Whoa.
Oh, well, Craig, let's not judge so harshly. I mean, yeah. If you select your seat, you go to all the care to selecting your seat. Should you feel the social pressure to change it because someone else did not select that seat? I don't know. And then finally, Hot Sports opinion here. Hot Sports take, but even though Josh Allen lost the game, he won in the dating game. Do you know who he's dating?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yep.
Jerry's daughter. That's not true. But yes, Haley Steinfeld.
Also a great vocalist, but doesn't come with the baggage that Taylor Swift comes with.
Gosh, what baggage.
I mean, all the attention.
Right. Yeah, the attention is a beating. That comes to us sincerely from P1 Gordo's unmarked tombstone sitting in his garage. That's an awful lot packed in that one phrase there. Not sure what you're saying. And then one phone call to Terrence in DeSoto. Hi, you're on the ticket.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to say I'll come do your ticket stock for $5,000. Talk about my son.
Who are you?
This is Terrence Parsons. I gave some of my best seed when I had Micah.
Okay. It was Terrence's brother, dude. Or it was
What?
Micah's brother.
No.
What do you mean,
I'm
no?
his dad.
But this is his dad.
Okay.
Did
Oh,
you
okay,
hear
because
about
that's
that
Junior. I got you.
RV?
All right, yeah.
What?
You hear about that ESPN analyst that flew out of the RV when he got up to go use the bathroom because his wife can't drive and she hit a barrier and he flew out at 70 miles an
Okay,
hour?
yes, you could word it a little bit more sensitively, but yes. Did you see that story?
No.
I
No.
forget who this was. I forget his name, but he's an ESPN guy, and his wife was driving the RV, and I think she hit the center barrier. They were like in the left lane. Hits the center barrier. He was up, I guess, going to the restroom, and he flies out and then lands on the roadway, and you ought to see all the ridiculous road rash he had. It just burned off his clothing.
Oh, man.
And it was, yeah.
Lucky to be alive.
And, of course, passersby come up to help him, and what's the first thing they do?
Want an autograph?
So-and-so.
No, they take a bunch of pictures of him and post it on social media where you can see how bad he looks. But yes, they did it all for the gram. But that's why you're not supposed to be up walking around inside an RV while it's rolling.
Right.
But isn't that the primary cool thing to do
But most
when you're
people do.
on a road trip?
Yeah.
Walking around that thing? Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that up, Micah Parsons' dad.
All right, Gordo, thank you. That's the corner.
Get the Steak Podcast at patreon.com/sportsgreek.
Once again, the ticket presents Why Today Doesn't Suck.
Dude, you suck.
And now, here are your hosts, Sean Bass and David Mino.
It's the sweet spot.
It's the sweet spot on a Monday, and at 2:58, it's a ham, not a donkey.
Damn, I was going to use that same thing on Monty.
You can use it.
Give me the thing, brings me
minds.
not a ham,
Or dime, it's a donkey. Monty.
What?
It's not a
Did you just have a
donkey,
stroke?
it's a Monty.
I'm always having a
Had
stroke.
like a Romo trail off there.
Have you not recuperated all your blood back yet?
No, I need more.
All right, well,
I'll find you some. I know a guy.
Go drink your boost.
Get Ham a blood boy.
Yeah.
This is typically when Ham drinks his nutrients.
His
let
boost.
He drinks a chocolate boost.
I think my grandma drank those.
Got like a carnation instant breakfast.
Yeah, he needs his vitamins in shake form.
Oh, there it
It's
is.
gonna taste like chocolate.
Is that what that is? Boost?
Yes.
That's a boost.
That is an old person thing,
I
right?
use it every day between our shows.
Ham, are you aware of that?
Yeah.
That's an old person nutrient
I heard
thing.
this segment, he's healthy as a horse, apparently, so keep going.
Boost
Yeah.
drink.
Of course.
Dude's crushing it. All right, we say hello to the hard line. Bob Sturm, Davey Lane, Corby Davidson.
What's up?
Oh, there's
Couple
10
of-
grams of protein in it. You don't want to go too crazy.
In a boost?
10, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get too
Does it
jacked.
say it's for old people?
It doesn't say it on the bottle.
Corby.
Dave.
I swear my parents, when they got really old, were drinking Boost.
And there's young people in the commercials. They're feeding it to the old people.
Yeah, mixing it with their tapioca pudding. Oh, Ham.
Boost.
Our medical marvel.
All right, I'm looking for a young person drinking a boost.
Yeah, you'll be there for a while.
This lady's pretty good looking, but she's probably in her 60s.
But yes, we have the hard line here. Both Corby and Dave are angel investors in my Fat Guy Vintage Clothes store.
Yeah. I want to run the grill.
Yeah.
It's mainly just putting up a food court and selling a couple of shirts around it.
It's food-based.
Food.
But under the cloak of shirt.
We sell some birria tacos over here.
Pitmaster Snake.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, you can also buy one of my old college T-shirts if you'd like.
Yeah.
Well, today is Monday, January 22nd, the 22nd day of 2024, 344 days left in the year. On this date in 1905 in St. Petersburg, Russia, a large demonstration of workers marched to the Winter Palace with a petition to the Tsar. The troops fire on the protesters in what has become known as Bloody Sunday.
Oh, my goodness. Sunday, Bloody Sunday.
Can't believe the news today.
Oh, boy.
Sounds like your dad chasing you.
Now we just need Kevin Harlan to say Mino.
Yeah.
How
be more difficult.
is he ever going to say Mino?
What if the Bills draft a kicker named Mino and he also goes wide right?
Be pretty great.
If you could get him to say minority, you could cut it.
With that much
He loves to
passion.
say that, yeah.
Like he can't remember the guy's name, so he's just yelling.
We have a direct line to Kevin Harlan.
That's
so
true.
We do have his phone number.
We could make this
Just
happen.
have him work it in a broadcast.
Yeah, do a little P1 password and work it in. On this date in 1968, the NBA announces expansion of franchise licenses awarded to the Phoenix Suns
Boo!
and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Bucks
buddies!
Buddies!
I saw the glow. Now I know what it's all about.
Okay.
Bob.
What's going on with our Bucks? Seems like they're in a little rut here.
Yeah,
Just give it time.
Okay.
It's early.
By the way,
wait until the playoffs. Up.
I wore my Lambeau shirt in solidarity with my grieving Packer pals.
Oh, yeah. Packer Pals had a bad one. Mayfield mates were close, but we
So
didn't quite
close.
get there.
Do the Packer pals seem sincere, Bob?
What's that?
Do the Packer pals seem sincere in their...
Does anything anyone says into a microphone at this place sound sincere?
But it was fun though for you to switch out of your Packer gear and into your little Baker shirt yesterday.
Oh
Even anything
man!
Bob says is sincere.
Yeah, you put your eye black on.
Yeah.
It was pretty nice watching that game Saturday night at a bar and finding people with Packer gear and going up to them after and going, "Oh no! What happened?"
They're burning the Brian Bulaga jersey.
How was Stans?
Awesome.
It was lit.
Love
It
that
was
place.
lit.
It was younger than you think, though.
Really?
It was 20-something driven.
That's awesome.
When I think of stands, I think of 30 to 40s.
I do too.
But look at them. The younger demo.
Yeah.
Killing it.
That's great.
In
We need them
1973,
too. Yep. They were all drinking Boost.
Did you tell them about the ticket?
Evening Boost.
We
You
were
guys-
posted up next to the cigarette machine.
You guys go up there as ticket missionaries and
Yeah.
spread the good news.
Passing out stickers.
We actually just went as missionaries to spread the word of our Lord and Savior.
in 1973, in a landmark decision, the U.S. Supreme Court legalizes most abortions. This is known as Roe v. Wade.
An abortion.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
This thing was
most abortion.
set in stone.
Nobody ever argued about it again.
Yep. Went ahead and put that one in the... Oh. It came back up.
Did it?
Do you guys know who was on which side in Roe v. Wade?
Who was Roe a baby?
Roe is like fish eggs.
Yeah, that's what it was
Wade-
about.
Okay.
Was Wade,
So it's like
Dean Wade, Dwayne
It was
Wade?
against Wade Phillips.
it's like eating caviar is abortion.
I'm going to just believe anything Dave says since he was just
Set it pulled out.
part of a birth.
Yeah, you know more.
Yes.
You're
Good at it.
you're kind of a doctor right now.
I know. It's true.
He was pre-med.
In 1984, during Super Bowl 18, Apple aired their Apple 1984 ad.
Boy, that was
Considered one of
weird.
the most recognized advertisements ever.
Advertimus?
Advertimus.
Vertimal.
In 1987, Pennsylvanian politician R. Bud Dwyer
Had a really nice day.
held a press conference on live national television, reached for a manila envelope,
Oh, no.
pulled out a gun, put it in his mouth, and pulled the trigger.
Was it a money thing? Was he in like financial disrepair or
Well, he was wrongly accused.
of what? Financial,
Of some kind
like
of,
white collar
like,
stuff?
Yeah, money laundering or whatever. And
Did they find out later
that's
on
the act of an innocent man.
he was wrongly
He
accused?
was a ped.
I think they ended up exonerating him. Yeah, and he was not. But I think
Oh,
he had a lot of
was a
evidence
ped?
stacked against him.
Oh no.
That was the subject of the song "Hey Man, Nice Shot" by Filter. You got it.
Yes.
My fun fact
That'll
today.
be,
That's the highlight of my day so far.
Yeah.
You said that just like a DJ would too.
I never
you were-
knew that
like
until
you were
right
right
now.
Let's hit
into
the
the
post
song.
here.
Yeah, let's roll some filter.
And so here it
We
is.
need to work on
Yeah,
that.
this one goes out
DJ
to
Lando.
him,
Like
Here is you're on your home for suicide-inspired music.
it's not difficult to. It's not a nice shot.
I mean, he hit his target in
proud
one
of
shot.
you.
I mean,
It was a good shot, man.
no wasted ammo.
Okay.
In 1998, Theodore Kaczynski, a.k.a. Ted, pleaded
44
guilty
degrees and drizzly out here on Monday down.
Teddy K.
to being the Unabomber
Happy
responsible for
Bud
3
Dwyer
deaths.
Suicide Anniversary Day, everybody.
Here's some filter.
Maybe today's the day.
This segment's sponsored by Nature Valley.
And Boost.
And Boost.
If
Having
you
a hard
decide
time
to
getting
make it-
nutrients in a day, I got a little chocolate shake for you.
You need to be regular.
Hey, if you decide that you want to live till tomorrow, have some Boost.
Is that what Boost is for? Does it make you regular?
I think it's bone health, maybe?
It's got
You know.
protein in it.
Protein?
Protein.
He's never said that word before.
Protein shake.
Protein.
Let me throw around some health
Protein?
words and maybe I can fool everybody.
They said I had a cavity.
Yeah, it's got good cobs. In 2006, Kobe Bryant, going against the Toronto Raptors, scored 81 points, the second highest in NBA history.
And eventually that would kill him.
That's on.
Good cholesterol.
I have that game on a hard drive somewhere.
Don't give yourself a point.
No.
That was for 4.
Thank you.
And in 2010, Conan O'Brien left the Tonight Show after hosting his last episode.
Team Coco.
Mm-hmm.
And then people kind of forgot about him.
Stand strong.
Team Coco, indeed.
TDS and took over, bro.
He's got a podcast now.
He and Samantha Bee are killing
Yeah,
it.
it was between an episode of Family Guy and Samantha Bee. And The Big Bang Theory. P1 birthdays. P1 Mark wants to wish a happy 36th birthday to Colin. His leaders are Whip and whatever iteration of the hard line we are on. Drop request. If you can find any of these, how about some drunk Corby?
If only.
Oh.
Good luck, Jennifer, with your bottom.
Hello. You enjoy the arts? Good luck with your crap. How's your ass?
Okay, I think you found a couple.
What's your favorite Corby? What is your favorite Corby?
Hey, you.
Good luck, Jennifer, with your bottom.
And she's had good bottom luck pretty much ever
We've
since.
heard that.
Hey,
it was like
how's your
rubbing
anus?
a genie.
Yeah, she had a couple of polyps before that, and they just fell out.
Dave.
Dave, maybe I need to wish you good luck with your bottom.
It wouldn't hurt.
Good luck
You
with your.
needed that like a decade ago, though, right?
Yeah, but there's could be follow-ups. I don't know.
You could be like a faith healer.
Good luck with your bottom's recording career.
I need to dust off my anal genie.
I wish
So
I
do
would
you
have.
only get 3 wishes?
I-
the
I-
anal genie?
I've only 3, so Jennifer's
Okay.
1.
Okay, there's 1.
So Dave would be 2.
I wish I had known you had this power before I scheduled my anal rejuvenation a few years ago.
Where you're stunning it.
Just insert the lamp and rub it and see what happens.
Yeah.
We got one Cumulus birthday.
What a weird genie.
The
One
ass genie.
Rosebud surgery.
Jason
Bit
Pullman.
idea.
They actually
Pullman.
sewed mine up and cut me a new one.
Yeah.
Hold on, read the birthday.
Jason Pullman.
Who is Jason Pullman?
Jason the board op?
He's the guy that likes to have the canteen and all the other stuff.
That's our Jason.
Yes.
I didn't know his last name was Pullman.
It's a Marconi nomination.
That's right.
Self-nominated.
And what's your name for
Still
him?
nominated.
He punched
Jason.
a woman at a debate.
Okay.
Isn't he the founder of Washington State?
I think that's Jason Pullman. I could be wrong. I don't know.
College joke.
Bringing it
Yeah.
back to sports.
Bob went 3 minutes without sports and got the itch.
The Wazoo
They're talking about
College
anuses.
Monster.
Yeah, you
Talking about
steer us out of the
hemorrhoids.
anus.
We will call it
Sports.
Washington State.
Need sports.
Sports.
This will be where Clay Thompson goes to college someday.
Turning 75 today, Steve Perry.
Wow.
Surprised he made it that far.
How old's his...
That means Asian Steve Perry is also same age.
They're blood brothers.
Oh, Steve Perry. Teddy Gentry of Alabama, 71.
How is a dude from Alabama younger than Steve Perry?
I don't know, dude. That's a classic question.
That's a really good question, man.
Twitter
Something
poll.
that only the scholars will be able to figure out in the
we're gonna have
future.
to send that up to the intelligentsia to figure out. John Wesley Shipp, 69. He was the Flash. Linda Blair, 65.
Exorcist.
Well, she was saying some not nice stuff to her mom during that movie.
And she really has some unusual uses for a crucifix.
Yeah, she didn't put it where it was supposed to go. Jimmy Herring of Widespread Panic, 62.
Let's go, Jimmy. Let's go get him.
Tamra Davis, 62.
He's a guitar player. I hope you have a nice lingering lead today,
Tamra
Jimmy.
Davis directed Billy Madison, Half Baked, and is the wife of Mike D of the Beastie Boys. DJ Jazzy Jeff, 59.
I told him I was
Lane,
Mike D.
Guy died this morning.
also 59.
They were like, gee, I don't know. He might be.
Steven Adler, the drummer of the Guns N' Roses, 59.
Bob.
Guy Fieri,
Guns N' Roses.
the mayor of Flavortown, 56.
Isn't he in Dallas right now?
Genius. For what?
Something's going on with Guy. Yeah, it's food related. There's some
let's
Dallas
see.
tie-in going on right now.
Lando, Ben Moody is 43. That's the guitarist for Evanescence.
I don't know why you singled me out.
You look like somebody that
I know
likes
you're a big
Evanescence.
Evanescence guy.
Corey Taylor.
Logic, the rapper, 34. Also another rapper that I was not aware of, but I will be checking out his Spotify playlist after. Turning 35, a pimp named Sweet Tooth.
Okay.
Pretty cool name. And Daniel Fang, 34, drummer of Turnstile. Sports birthdays.
Greatness.
Ham.
Brian Jones, our very own, 56. Bucky Brooks, the NFL insider, 53.
Bucky!
Sean Figgins, 46.
Chone Figgins.
Boy.
That was a guy that played for your rival, but
Ranger Killer.
You kind of dug him. Former Cowboy Jason Peters, 42. Ray Rice is 37.
Ray.
Greg Oden, 36. Dylan Brooks, 28.
Yeah.
And this happened one day before her birthday.
Does Greg Oden have money?
Yeah.
Did he look 36 when he was drafted?
Yeah, he looked 50.
He looked older than LeBron.
I just think that, yeah.
Caitlin Clark is 22.
Bob!
Which now people are claiming
DJ!
she flopped.
Is she okay, by the way?
She flopped. Go watch the tape.
Greg
she
Oden
fine?
net worth $16 million.
Okay, good.
She beautiful?
I don't know.
And
I don't
she
judge
fat?
women based on their appearance, Bob.
Is she hurt? That's a simple question.
I don't know. I didn't check the Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball injury report today.
Jeez, this guy has an answer for everything.
I don't know.
There's your answer. I don't know.
Just imagine if they had...
She got trucked by a fan.
If they had Tara
Telling you, if you watch it
Vanderveer as their
again.
coach.
I think she oversold it.
Tara Vanderveer. Who is that?
Trying to get the charge called.
She is the winningest college basketball coach of all time.
All right, born
and I
to stay
learned
now
her
dead.
name yesterday.
Who does she coach for?
Stanford.
I don't think her feet were set.
Like right now, she's coaching
Team USA back in the 90s, maybe?
Born to stay now dead. We
Never
have
heard the name
John
in my life.
Hurt,
She's been at Stanford since 1985.
Michael Hutchins.
Oh,
from
Dave.
NSF, Dave. And Sam Cooke, the American singer.
Never forget the lemon.
Dead on the Stay Still Dead. We have a lot of them here. The aforementioned Bud Dwyer. We have Giordano Ventura.
Wow.
Sorry, Sean. I know
That's
you
a
had a lot
tough
of his
one.
rookie cards. Heath Ledger. Sorry, Ham.
Oh. Ham.
Joker.
LBJ.
From my nutsack to my bunghole.
Joe Paterno.
Joe Pa. Slapping.
Slapping sounds.
Like 80 years of work was reduced to that for you.
Right. He would
Also-
just turn up his radio so he didn't have to hear Sandusky going to town.
I don't want to hear that.
All the damn slap.
And turns his hearing aid down.
I
And
could
also
barely,
down the Stay Still
think.
Dead, one Hank Aaron. And
Hammer and
that's why
Hank.
today doesn't suck.
Monto.
Bye, Justin.
Bye, David. Bye, Al.
Shut it down! Let's go!
And ladies and gentlemen, Dave. Hi, Dave.
Go, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Hello, Monday listeners. How is everybody? Excuse me.
Got that microphone on.
Yeah.
So, it's been a couple years since Jurassic World Dominion, the third Jurassic World movie, which, by all accounts, was pretty terrible because it wasn't about dinosaurs anymore. It was about giant prehistoric bugs, like giant locusts.
You know, as much as I was into this franchise, I still did not see the last one.
Yeah, don't. It was not good. I did enjoy the first Jurassic World.
Absolutely.
That was fun.
That was great.
Well, Universal knows that this is a cash cow, and they know that they can't let it fall into mothballs and have people forget about it like Avatar, although Avatar overcame that and became, again, the biggest movie in the history of movies.
Yeah. Let's have sex with the cow.
So they are deep
Not now, Corby. We're doing
deep
Enews.
in development of an all-new Jurassic World movie. And while that, on its face, is underwhelming news, when you pair that with the fact that it is being written by David Koepp, who is the writer of the original Jurassic Park from 1993, and he also wrote Jurassic Park Lost World, He's also written the original Mission Impossible, the first Spider-Man in 2002. He's written several Indiana Jones movies. He's, an in-demand writer. He's worked with Spielberg in the past. Now, Spielberg is just an executive producer. There's no director on board, but they're saying that the script is far enough along and that everyone is liking where it is right now that they're thinking maybe a 2025 release.
I just don't know where you can take it. Like, you've already done the whole...
Right. And that's the thing, is evidently this is going to kind of be a reboot, but not a reboot. So they're saying it's going to launch a new Jurassic era, an all-new storyline. So your Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard will not be in it.
Okay.
And
what about Newman?
Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, not going to be in it.
Okay, so this is like Luke and Leia.
It could be a prequel and bring Newman back.
You could. He probably looks a little different these days. Maybe he does. Maybe he looks exactly the same. What if they, just don't know what, even if you reboot it, to sell it to audiences, we accidentally genetically made a dinosaur, and now he's a greeter at Walmart. Where do you go? There's so much money involved. And
when the Jurassic World, like Jurassic World 2,
yeah,
if you remember that one, that's when they had the auction. Like, they had all these dinosaurs, and rich people from all over the world were bidding
to have sex with them,
to have sex with dinosaurs.
Yeah,
it was like
ones. Yeah, that was Fallen Kingdom, right?
Yeah,
it was best little whorehouse in Jurassic Park.
Right, putting little skirts on.
And so
lipstick.
And then at the end of that movie, spoiler alert, all the dinosaurs escape. And so they kind of set up
the
idea,
Earth is going to be populated again.
Yeah, the idea that now humans are going to have to live alongside a predator that they were never meant to live alongside of.
Our underwater allies.
That's right.
Yes. But then the third one, like I said, it wasn't even about dinosaurs. It was about locusts.
Yeah,
it was stupid.
Boo,
it was dumb.
Don't like that.
So maybe they will kind of mine that untapped gold of what the hell would we do as a human race if all of a sudden there were dinosaurs everywhere?
Right, like there was a dinosaur sitting in the stands at a Little League game.
Right, or like you're going... You're having to move your car at a gold parking for a Mavs game, and then a Velociraptor just bites your leg off.
Right, damn it! Damn Raptors.
The Razzies. Speaking of bad movies, the Razzies have put out their nominations once again. This is the Golden Raspberry Awards for the worst movies of the year.
Yes.
Snatch.
And this is the 44th edition of the Razzies. If you remember, last year they had to issue an apology because they nominated 11-year-old Ryan Kira Armstrong for Worst Actress for her role in the remake of Firestarter.
And they caught hell just because it was a kid. They were like, leave her alone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
Yeah, Drew Barrymore was like, this is...
Yeah,
Gary, this is so wrong.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, if you would like to vote in the Razzies, anybody can be a voting member. You just have to pay the annual fee of $40, or you can buy a lifetime membership for $500, and then you can nominate and vote on these. But your nominees for Worst Picture: The Exorcist Believer, Expendables 4, Meg 2: The Trench, Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and Winnie the Pooh: Blood and Honey.
That was the horror movie version of Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah. I watched it. It seriously was one of the worst movies ever put on film.
Why did you watch that?
Well, because my daughter wanted to watch it because she had heard about it at school. And we watched not even like 5 minutes with her, and I immediately was like, no, this is not for you. But we had paid for it, like $3 or whatever. So my wife and I watched it apart from daughter. And I'm so glad. It's gratuitous boobs and such...
Like cartoon boobs?
Well, just, for some reason, like a girl victim has her shirt torn off and she's just running around with her floppers.
How much did it cost?
Dave? It was like $3. Okay. You probably stream it for free now, but it was so awful.
Yeah. She's got some floppers.
So bad. Anyways, Worst Actor, Russell Crowe for The Pope's Exorcist. Vin Diesel for Fast X.
Sorry about that, Bob.
Chris Evans for Ghosted. Jason Statham for Meg 2, The Trench. And
Sorry,
John
Bob.
Voight for Mercy.
John Voight's still alive?
Yeah. And Worst Actress.
But Tony Gwynn's dead.
Ana de Armas for Ghosted. Megan Fox for Johnny and Clyde. Salma Hayek for Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Oh, leave her alone.
Jennifer Lopez for The Mother. And Helen Mirren for Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Leave her alone, too.
I can't believe they went after Statham.
I know, right?
He should be untouchable.
We have some music news to fill out the rest of your Monday e-news. So, they have the Grand Ole Opry is still going strong. They have the review every weekend, and it's a hot ticket still, and it's the variety show. They have different artists all the time. Well, they are catching some hell for an appearance that took place this past Friday, as they were doing a Dolly Parton tribute, and Elle King was part of this.
Yeah.
And I guess...
Is Elle King Rob Schneider's daughter?
Is it? Does that sound right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Making copies.
So she is famously full throttle, and this is what it sounded like when she was trying to do a tribute number to Dolly.
Whoops.
I think she's got good control of that song.
She doesn't know any of the words.
Yeah, so she was getting heckled from the audience, and at some point she goes, "Hi, my name is Elle King, and I'm effing hammered." And then when a bandmate said, "Why don't we do one of your songs instead of a cover of a Dolly song you don't know?" she said, "I can barely play another person's song. Let me see if I can play one of mine." And so they were getting hammered on Twitter. Somebody wrote, Elle King ruined the night with her horrible, drunk, profane performance. Dolly Parton would have been mortified. It was our first time at the Opry. It was a shame we had to witness all that and spend $300 on tickets where one of the artists ruined the entire night. And so the Opry had to apologize. We deeply regret and apologize for the language that was used.
Why did they get Elle King to do a Dolly Parton thing at the Grand Ole Opry? Like, it seems like that this was a promotion mishap. Like, you got the wrong person to do it. Who else was there?
I don't know. I don't know who else was on the bill. But she definitely did not carry her weight.
No.
I have some touring news. This is kind of like a preview of concert calendars to come.
Okay.
As there are three big tours that are going to be making their way through DFW.
Through the D and the F and the W?
In the spring and summer. First, tell me if you're interested in this, Corby. The Black Crowes have their first album in 15 years coming out, Happiness Bastards.
I heard the new song while you were gone, David, and I've heard much worse.
Okay. Well, they will be coming to...
Corby Davidson says he's heard much worse.
They will be at the Pavilion at Toyota Music Factory on April 6th. April 6th. All right. Let's see if this interests you. As the Pixies and Modest Mouse are teaming up again. They toured in 2023, and they liked it so much they're rolling it back. And so they're doing a co-headlining tour, and they will be at the Pavilion at Toyota Music Factory on June 27th.
Okay, probably not, but I'm not against the Pixies and or Modest Mouse.
Yeah,
nobody's against the Pixies.
I like them both, but probably not enough to go.
Yeah.
And the Doobie Brothers.
What?
With the lineup of Tom Johnston, Michael McDonald, Pat Simmons, and John McPhee. And they are getting support from either Robert Cray or Steve Winwood. They're taking turns as support on the tour. They will be at Dos Equis Pavilion on June 29th.
I would rather take a shovel to the head than go see the Doobie Brothers, if that answers your question.
Taking it to the streets.
What about seeing Steve Winwood in person?
Steve Winwood's not the Doobie Brothers.
I thought he just said Steve Winwood is touring
but
with him.
Robert Cray is opening up in Dallas, so you're not going to see Steve Winwood. Sorry.
Yeah, Robert Cray. What is the one song that I know from him? Seriously, like there's one song that he did that was like, it's kind of like Fast Cars from what's her name? Not Jelly Roll's version, or Luke Combs' version, but the original
Gaga.
chick. But yeah, not Doobie Brothers. How are they even alive? Any of them?
Yeah, they've already celebrated their 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Like a couple of years ago. And finally, the Foo Fighters, Corby.
Foo Fighters.
They are back on tour. They have resumed their world tour in 2024.
This segment's going to be about Dave Grohl.
And they have kicked off this leg of the tour in New Zealand. They did a show in Auckland, New Zealand last night. And they had a very special guest. So they like to do AC/DC songs when they visit New Zealand and Australia because
in honor of them.
That's where AC/DC is from. And so they were joined on stage by their drum tech, Fiona Jeans, and
great name,
a man who just happened to be in New Zealand shooting a movie based on the video game Minecraft, Jack Black.
No way.
Covering AC/DC's Big Balls.
No way.
So here's the deal. I'm not singing this one.
And does Jack Black walk out on stage?
Yeah,
okay.
wearing his usual outfit.
Yeah.
So this is the drum tech. It's more of a visual gag because he is so awesome.
Yeah, and he's wearing his little onesie.
And, he's wearing his matching T-shirt and short set with flames on it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
a true American treasure.
He
the
is.
Great Jack Black.
And that's some audio that I wanted to play just for the sake of it.
All right, good stuff, David.
Here he is, Dave.
Thank you. So we have a bit of closure on a story that we covered here on Community Quick Hits back over the summer. So do you remember in July, there was a girl walking down the street in San Antonio, July 6th, when a man drove up, showed her a handgun and said, "If you don't get in the car with me, I'm going to hurt you." And then it was 3 days later, July 9th, that same girl and this guy were spotted in Long Beach, California, and she held up a handwritten note in the window that said, "Please help."
Yeah.
And a passerby saw her, called 911, and he was arrested. So in
Not
July,
the guy who called 911.
No, the guy who kidnapped her.
Yeah.
So in July, Stephen Robert Sablin, a 62-year-old guy from Cleburne, he was indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of kidnapping and transportation of a minor with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. Well, last Friday, he admitted in a plea agreement that he sexually assaulted the victim while driving her from Texas to California. So he entered a plea deal. And so now He will be sentenced on October 25th with a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years in federal prison and a maximum of life in prison.
Do we know if that guy had done time before? I mean, it sounds like if you do something like this is not your first swim through the law.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a rap sheet of any note before this, but...
And she was how old? 17?
Cash
13.
Oh, good God, 13.
13 years old.
Holy crap. Hang on, Norm.
Yeah, so she, I guess, had a fight. She was threatening to run away from home, and he took advantage of the situation and said, yeah, I'll take you to California. And then bad stuff happened. So he has pled, but evidently his plea deal did not take life in prison off the table. So he will be sentenced.
Well, hopefully
in the
he
fall.
gets life.
Yes.
And then dies in prison.
Big ruling in the Supreme Court today, the Supreme Court of the United States, as they ruled in a 5-4 ruling that Border Patrol agents can resume removing or destroying razor wire that had been installed by the state of Texas along the U.S.-Mexico border. So this is a big point of contention for Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton, as they've been fighting with the federal government over Biden's immigration policies and who controls what part of the border, right? And so this reverses an injunction from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans, a lawsuit filed by Paxton last year that accuses the federal government of illegally destroying state property when federal agents were cutting through the razor wire on the southern border. And this is all tied up in this escalating situation between the state and the federal government. Is
that why I saw earlier today on Twitter secede was trending?
Yes. So
I agree.
The Texas Military Department recently took control of the Eagle Pass City Park.
Eagle Pass, Bob.
Yes.
And they have been denying federal Border Patrol agents access to the area. So they're like, can't come in here. We have control over this whole park. And so it's a 50-acre park on the banks of the Rio Grande. And so it's unclear how the ruling about cutting through razor wire will affect the impasse at Eagle Pass.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it.
The impasse at Eagle Pass.
I just made that up.
You need to trademark that.
And meanwhile, so as if tensions weren't at a high enough level, there was a TikTok video that came out on the 13th of January. So about a little over a week ago. And so you can see in the TikTok video, there's military service members at the U.S.-Mexico border. You see a large crowd of migrant workers waiting to be processed to enter into the state. And then in the background, you hear what appears to be President Joe Biden saying, "We're going to make sure those cowboys don't stop the surge of military-age men from entering. If we have to send F-15s to Texas here and wage war against Texas, so be it."
Let me guess. All a fake.
It's AI. It's AI Joe Biden.
Wow.
Oh, good.
And so then
here we are.
The text on the TikTok said, "Who is more treasonous, the tyrant or the people who let it happen?"
Mm-hmm.
So this is very much like Fargo.
See, I like my TikToks that are sent to me when it comes to border stuff. Of the guy hitting the golf shot and the camera pans and there's like all these people on the other side of the border cheering his 135-yard shot. That's what I need.
I just want monkeys riding skateboards.
That's good too. Would rather definitely see that.
I want girls with giant jugs doing choreographed dances.
That's awesome too.
So yeah, Joe Biden is not declaring war on Texas. Just
good Lord,
if your uncle sent you a TikTok and was like
reality is screwed up enough. We don't have to meet
you at the deer blind.
Yeah, seriously, it's like that phone call in Fargo.
Yeah,
the John Hamm phone call rallying the troops.
Yep,
nice rack.
All right, we have a couple of animal stories to close out a Monday Community Quick Hits. We have a boo and then a yay.
All right.
We have sad, then happy. Okay. This is really sad. Arlington police on Saturday morning responded to a call 7:30 in the morning on King William Drive.
Okay.
And so there was a man who was visiting family at this address on King William Drive, but he had his dog with him. And evidently whoever owned the home, the family member who owned the home, was like, you can't bring that dog in here. So the man told the family that he would go sit in the car with the dog. Only problem is he didn't crack the garage door, and he and the dog were found dead from carbon monoxide poisoning.
What?
That they were trying to stay warm in the car, but they didn't crack the garage door, and they both ended up dying of carbon monoxide asphyxiation.
Are they unfamiliar with...
I don't know. I don't know. The family said usually he would crack the garage door, but maybe it was so cold, there was such a draft coming in, he's like, I'll leave it closed. But he fell asleep, and then he and the dog died.
Damn.
Do you think the family wants a do-over on not letting the dog in the house? Like, how bad could it have been?
Exactly. And like, yeah, what's the worst that could have happened? That?
Yeah. So that's the sad one.
Boo.
But here's a happy one.
That is a boo.
As the Fort Worth Zoo. So I welcomed a baby boy on Christmas Day.
Mm-hmm.
Go Dave. As I bring it back to me. Mm-hmm. The Fort Worth Zoo welcomed a baby boy giraffe on New Year's Day. In the wee hours of the morning on New Year's Day, a baby boy named Corbel, named after the Champagne.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Corbo.
He came into the world weighing 165 pounds and clocking in at 6'3".
Would you let your baby fight that giraffe since they were born around the same time?
Yeah.
Same age.
I think...
Just set your baby down.
I think my baby would be trampled.
I don't
think it would be a fair
You're
fight.
underestimating.
Do you think the giraffe's family was upset they didn't get the tax breaks of
right?
that baby birth into the...
Could have gotten the write-off for all of 2023. Yeah, so they said it's still too cold. The current weather is still too cold for Corbel to be outside. So he's staying in the barn for now, bonding with his mom, Corey. But they will...
Wow.
Corey? They will announce...
Corey, Corbel...
Yeah, they're dancing all around Corby.
I know.
Just name it Corby already.
Yes. Don't I deserve a giraffe?
Absolutely.
Come on. What are we doing
Yeah,
here?
you just signed a 5-year extension.
I'm here for 5. I'll be here for the life.
That's such a commitment.
Yes.
In honor of the contract.
Right.
So they said they will...
You should have asked for a giraffe.
Yeah, you should have put that in the language.
All right. Look, I don't want any money.
Well, I do, but...
I just want a giraffe. Named after me.
Yes.
So they will announce when Corbel will be making his debut to the public.
A station giraffe.
God, imagine like that first time that they open the door and that thing has to go out. Like, what kind of barn do you have for a 6'3", 165-pound giraffe? Like, at what point?
A big one.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it's big doings at the Fort Worth Zoo because just a couple weeks before Corbel was born, they announced that they had their first lion cub born in captivity in nearly a decade. That cub, named Moha, was born in October to Mother Saba and Father Jubilani.
They always give them African names.
Whoa.
Because they're from Africa.
Oh.
They're
African
wildlife.
Hang on, Dave. They're from Texas.
So they're African American?
No, you name them now. You name them Roger and Randy and Too Tall.
And Willie.
Or they like Colt McCoy and they have like African dirt underneath them.
Nolan.
Micah.
All right, John.
CD. All right, that's your Community Quick Hits for a Monday.